Welcome back, folks, to the second iteration of patch 1.5.1 on the common test server. So with this iteration, we got a new hidden vehicle called the FV1066 the Senlac, as well as crew training manuals or books to increase crew experience dramatically. So that's pretty neat. But as always, I'll put the timestamps in the description below. So we'll talk about the Senlac, and then we'll take a look at the crew experience boost with the books and SAT practice and stuff. Alright, so with the Senlac, it's a premium tier 8 British light tank, the first premium British light tank ever. So we might see a British light tank line with the ferrets and the foxes. I doubt we're going to see cars, because usually you have light tanks for tanks, not cars or tanks for cars usually. So with the EBRs, we actually got the EBR 75 for the actual cars, not a light tank for cars. So we'll see, but this is a light tank with a 20 pounder, so basically a medium tank gun on a light tank. Kinda looks like a British version of a AMX-13. It has an oscillating turret, so you can take a look at the historical facts. It's a blueprint tank, has an oscillation turret, should be better in terms of maneuverability and mobility compared to the Chafee. But this is a two-piece turret, the top piece and the bottom piece, and the top piece could just move by itself, so it's an oscillating turret basically, similar to the AMX-13s. So there are two machine guns for this turret. Holy crap, 3 machine guns and a 20 pounder. Holy crap, there's a lot of firepower for a light tank. That's a 30 cal, that's a 50 cal, and a 20 pounder. Nice. It's a crew of 3. Has a commander, a gunner, and driver, so similar to the AMX-13s. Nice. It's a premium, makes more credits and crew XP. Taking a look at the firepower, it's a 20 pounder gun. Accuracy, base accuracy is 0.4 for 100% crew. That's okay. It's a light tank, it's not great. I'm taking a look off screen at the dispersion while movement. It's not that bad for moving while traversing the turret and hull, so that's good. Gun degrees is 10 depression. Gun depression is 10 degrees. Nice spoonerism. Gun elevation is 14. 14 elevation might suck, so that's kind of wonky. 10 degrees of gun depression is pretty good. Yeah, rate of fire is alright. Every 6 seconds or so. 5.87 seconds without a rammer. But with this vehicle, it could be active scouting. So you could fit an active gun rammer with vertical stabilizer and coated optics, so that might be good. Okay, it's average. I mean, penetration is actually pretty good for a light tank at tier 8. It's 190. I think the average is about 170 or 180 or so, so it's about 10mm above average. Alpha, below average, slightly. It's okay, 180, but it's a rapid firing gun. It is a 20 pounder, and 20 pounders are, I mean, it could be better in terms of alpha. Usually the 20 pounders on the medium tanks with the Centurions have about 240 alpha, 220 alpha, so alpha might need some help, but it's okay. Shell velocity is 1020 meters per second. So I'll post the actual ST screenshot of the actual stats after we talk about all the stats, so you get to take a look. But soft stats wise, it's not bad for the gun in terms of dispersion. Survivability, health is average, 1050. That's quite chunky for a light tank when you think about it, compared to the ELC AMX or something like the cars. Alright, it's not bad. I mean, it's like a tank destroyer in terms of health. Armor is non-existent, 20 at the front for the hull and 30 for the turret front. It's flat, it's boxy, so it's like a British version of a AMX-13. Oh, I mean, engine is at the front too, so it's British driving components. Wait, one second. There is a driver, there is a gunner, there is a commander. Based on the crew components, that's the commander with more periscopes. That's the gunner. That's the driver. The driver has a 30 caliber too, but surprisingly, it's a British tank. British people drive on the right side of the vehicle's hull, or on the starboard side of the vehicle's hull. Why is he driving like American? Or, yeah. Alright, that's a small fun fact. What the hell? But he has a machine gun as well. There are like 4 machine guns on this vehicle. Holy shit. The gunner has 2 machine guns inside the turret and 1 for the outside of the turret. Alright. So, mobility wise, it's actually not bad. 32.18 horsepower per ton ratio. It weighs about 20 tons. So featherweight obviously, but it is very fast to rev up. Top speed of 65 kilometers per hour. That's also not bad. It's close to 70. It's not 70, but it's close. So it should be pretty good in terms of top speed. And I'm taking a look off screen at the terrain resistance. It's 0.671 for hard, 0.767 for medium, and 1.342 for soft. That's pretty good compared with other light tanks, and combined with the horsepower per ton ratio, that's very good. So this thing is very quickly to shift, other than sticking in mud. But wow, that's pretty decent. Hull traverse might be a little bit slow, so that's the only downside. It's at about 47 degrees per second, so that's below average. And reverse speed of 23 kilometers per hour, so that's below average. But in terms of mobility and in terms of revving up speed, this thing is actually pretty quick. So it could be a very good active scout. Just provide long enough to not get shot into the turret, because kind of a tall silhouette. But then again, it's a small target, so it is a light tank after all. Concealment, it's 14.59% stationary, and it's below average. So it has a larger stature than other light tanks, and view range is 380. So that's also below average. Standard radio, 700 meters. So basically, you should try to active scout with this vehicle. And the shell cost is it's below average, so that's good. So it's cheaper to fire the shells. So you get 45 rounds of the 20-pounder gun. Alright, so overall, I think it's kind of decent as an active scout. So you put coated optics, you put rammer and vertical stabilizer, and you go aggressive with this thing. The camo is not that great, mostly, and the view range is not that great, but its main feature is the mobility of this vehicle. It's very quickly to shift, rev up, and drive through mud. So that's the good aspect about it. So I think this is pretty decent on front lines in terms of getting to a cap circle and start capping. But here is a comparison with other light tanks. You have the front runners like the LT432, and some players are liking the HWK30. Obviously you have the cars and stuff, but in terms of DPM, it's not the best. As you can see, it's below average mostly. Some of these light tanks have about freaking 2,300 DPM. Holy shit! That's pretty decent. Oh my god, the ELC EVN has like 1,000. I totally forgot about that. So gun's DPM performance is not the greatest, but then again, it's a 20-pounder. You can fire high explosive HEP shells, or it's actually a high explosive shell, not high explosive squash head. Alright, but taking a look at the shells, it's a high explosive, not high explosive squash head. Average alpha of 280. Alright, only 90 millimeters of pin. Has some burst radius. APCR gold shell, 223. Alright, and AP shell normally. So 45 rounds of those for all you to spam, but then again, it has the gun depression, and that's a very big plus. The downside is gun elevation sucks ass. So, kinda if. Health wise, yeah, slightly veering towards below average. It's average-ish, it's okay. Armor is non-existent compared to the 432, so it's not exactly OP as Russians, basically. Engine power, and horsepower per turn ratio is close to the 432. That's good. And it's on the higher end of horsepower per turn ratio, so that's good. Top speed and reverse speed is also on the higher end, but then again, 60 is like as well as the, I think, well, then again, it's okay. 65 is okay. I mean, if you're like 50, that's like dangerously into medium tank range. Traverse speed, lowest, so it is the hardest to turn this vehicle in terms of haul traverse. And for turret traverse, not the worst, I mean not the best, so be careful about that. Oh, camo is about the same as a Bulldog. It's slightly better, but not much. So it's still somewhat tall in terms of stature, and view range is on the lower end. Also, HWK has 410 meters of view range. Holy buttfuck. That's amazing. I forgot about that. So overall, I think this is like a cross between a Bulldog and a AMX-13 in a sense. It's like British, but it's large. But it's like French in terms of the design, but out of 10, how much would I give this? I mean, Frontline is good, and with the buffs to the matchmaking, we have to think about the new spectrum of rating system. So matchmaking is a very big component. But with the current meta of almost 50% all tier 8s or below, 40% all tier 9s, and 10% all tier 10s for this vehicle, I still think it's decent in terms of playing light tank. Light tanks are good if you are well coordinated and attack as a freaking Zerg rush. Yeah, attack mode for front lines. And having the speed and mobility is a big plus. The downside to this vehicle is the gun's performance as well as the camo and view range. That's it. It's very good in terms of shifting with its horsepower per turn ratio and terrain resistance. That's the upside. The downside is the gun's DPM. It has the pen though. Penetration is not bad. I mean, compared to vehicles like the LT432, yeah, penetration is a lot better, 13 millimeters. But it's on the higher end of the spectrum too. Alpha, I mean Alpha compared to the Light Tank 432 is the same. Alright. The downside is the DPM is not as high, so you won't chunk out as much shots, and accuracy is also not as good. Base accuracy, but dispersion is above average, so shooting on the move is pretty decent. Gun elevation sucks, okay. And you have no armor. But most of the time, with other light tanks, like the EBRs or like some of the Bulldogs, they tend to fire high explosive as their base default shells. So you will eat high explosives if you're facing off against other light tanks, and that might be a problem. It's not a problem for the Light Tank 432 because fucking medium tanks hull armor against light tanks. But I say out of 10, this will be an 8 out of 10. It's good for the frontline game mode. It's good if you know how to active scout. Whoops. But yeah, it's 8 out of 10. I mean, we don't know how good the French. We don't know how good the British light tanks are compared to the French, compared to the Russians. But as a premium light tank in the current light tank meta at tier 8, I say this is an 8 out of 10. What would be a worst? What would be the worst light tank? Ooh, that's a hard question. That's a real hard question. Does the BZ-132? It's like a medium tank. It doesn't have armor, and it's not as fast. It's somewhat big. People might fight me on that one. I think the WZ-132 might be the worst tier 8 light tank out of all the light tanks. Maybe. Don't quote me on that one. I'm still thinking about it, but there are some good ones. There are some really good ones. There are some okay ones, and there are some pretty garbage ones. But yep, that's the Senlac, the FV1066. So let's take a look at the new book system. So once you log into the game, you'll get a few books, and they will be testing study crew books now available. So I have a few testing vehicles like the 45TP. I've been playing with this vehicle, transferring the crews from earlier medium tanks to a heavy tank. So this commander is at 83%. So let's check out the books. Crew books 1. Go to study crew books. So you get a book pamphlet or booklet. You get a training guide. You can buy training manuals, and you can get personal training manuals specifically designed with your shits and your catering in mind. So you can actually buy the training manual for 2 million credits. This will provide each crew members with 250,000 XP. That's pretty nice. So we'll buy one to see how much boost this gives to the dudes. So we'll use the booklet and see how much. It's currently at 83% for the commander, and commander gives a bonus to the other crew members. So why they're wearing pirate hats? It's like a pirate hat for their... Okay, whatever. So let's see the booklet. What? Oh, what? Crew does not meet requirements. Major question is less than 100%. So you can only use this if they're at 100%? That sucks. What if I want to train them from like 75% to 100%? You cannot do that? Oh, that sucks. Oh, you cannot use that. That's garbage. So you can only use it on 100% crew. That's dumb. Let me see if I have any more garbage crews I need training. Alright, so here's a 97% for the UDES. So crews have a Swedish booklet. Do I choose anybody? It gives to all the members, right? Yeah. Crew does not meet the requirements. So they are not at 100% though. But then again, the gunner is at 100%. But it's only from getting the bonus from the crew or from the Brothers in Arms and stuff. And the vents and other stuff. What? How does this work? Plus 15 from what? Why couldn't I give the commander a boost to the bonus? I have no idea. So you can only apply to the 100% crew. Alright, so if you're wanting to do it that way, here is a very well trained crew. And can we do this right now? So go to the books. You can apparently apply. Can we apply? We can apply with the bonus. So you can apply only to 100% crew. I mean, as long as they're 100%, doesn't mean like they're fully trained to 100%. If you have vents, you can pseudo make it to 100%, I guess. And you can buy the training manuals to obviously give them more XP and stuff. Study the books. Wait 1 second. They're at 32% about for their 6th skill. So study the booklet. Yeah, you studied some booklets and you... Crew book. No more crew books available. Yeah, oh no, you can buy stuff. So once they study the book, it goes up 3% for the skill. Not much. But if you have a like a 1 skill crew, let's see, I need a very garbagey skill crew. Shit. What's a very low? Oh, my Russian tanks have low skills because you don't need skills. Haha, that's a joke. So here is a garbagey, low skilled. Yeah, it's only 100, so it's a low skill, 1 skill crew. So let's see how much booklet does. So they're at 36% with 93% for the radio operator. Mostly it's from another tank. You don't need skills for this Russian tanks. Okay, back to the garage, and they got boosted somewhat decently. So I think you can earn these crew books from the merit system. So reward for merits or any other events for missions or other stuff. But you can also buy them for 2 million credits. So you can purchase 2 mil. Affirmative. That's a lot of credits though when you think about it. 2 million credits, and it will boost by 250,000. That's somewhat chunky, and that's a whole lot of battles. So can I get to like first skill ready for like something like 6th sense. Let's see. Study the books. Ooh, how much is that? How much? Holy shit! He jumps up, jumps up 1 skill. So basically, study a book, and you could get to like 6th sense immediately. So pay 2 million for 6th sense and save stowage and stuff. All right. I mean, there you go, folks. That's the books. I mean, more stuff for you to get from merit system is always nice. So hopefully you can get it from the merit system. Otherwise, you can pay some money. But then again, I would recommend you saving the money currently for black market, obviously. Is there a black market on the test server? That's also what's interesting. Come on. Oh, no. Is there a black market for the... No. There is no black market for the test server. You don't get it. Also, you don't get that many premium account offers and stuff. Alright, so there you go, folks. The Senlac, as well as books for your crew. 8 out of 10. I mean, if it has like more view range, I would definitely give it more points. So if it has like 400 meters of view range, I will give it 8.5. Maybe, yeah, 8.5. 8.5 is good. But it doesn't have the view range. View range is somewhat shafted. So basically you will put rammers. Oh, what the shit? Rammers, vertical stabilizer, and code optics. You could also try out like vents instead of rammers, but rammers is good. Yeah, rammers is always good. So with the rammer, you could go up to 2000 DPM. View range is 418. Okay, I mean, good enough. But then again, if you have stuff like the Light Tank 432 with a rammer, rammer with vertical stabilizer, with vents, oh, not vents, ew, code optics. Yeah, with the Light Tank 432, you have the same view range, but the 432 has the DPM, about 350 or 310 more, as well as the armor for the hull. It weighs slightly more. And it has better radio, and this thing has armor, so it moves just as fast. I mean, it moves at the same horsepower per turn ratio, better horsepower per turn ratio, and better top speed. The downside to the Light Tank 432 is its terrain resistance is not as good. It's 0.86, 0.96, and 1.53 compared to the FV432's. Where the hell is that thing? Let me check off screen. Give me a sec. 0.67, 0.76, and 1.3. So technically, they both should have about the same mobility. The only difference is that the Light Tank 432 has better revving up power, but the Senlac has better terrain resistance through like mud or through gravel or other stuff. So. But then again, the Light Tank 432 is Russian and it has armor. Yeah. What about the concealment? It has better camo too. Fuck me. So there you go, folks. The Senlac, I will give it 8 out of 10. So it's okay, but we'll like to see how good or what the other British light tanks are in essence compared to the premium counterpart. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.